Okay. So, have you any doubt regarding this other session? Is last session which we have discussed exceptions and all. Okay. So now two topic is remaining here in this core Java. One is multi-threading, another is collection. Apart from this, all the topic which I have covered. So here two topics is remaining. Apart from this, we can already we already completed this Java, history of Java and all, control statement, oops class, and then inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, array, and then oops miscellaneous, then a string, exception handling, and regex is not required, and IO and all, networking AWT is not in syllabus, string and all. So multi-threading is remaining here, and one is collection inside that. Apart from this, all the topic which I have completed inside that. So we'll start first multi-threading. So multi-threading is in Java. So multi-threading in Java is a process to execute multiple threads simultaneously. So while we are going for the synchronous asynchronous communication, so at a time only one thread will work. If we are processing the data, so single thread will work, means at a time only one operations we can perform. But our requirement, we can have a multiple operations simultaneously can be performed. In that cases we will go for the multi-threading. So how two thread will be created and both will be refer particular operations simultaneously. So for that cases we are using multi-threading in Java. So one concept is there. So here the definition is multi-threading Java is the process of executing multiple threads simultaneously. So while we are doing simultaneously, so multi-thread is a lightweight sub-process, the smallest unit of process, and multiprocessing and multitasking both will be used to achieve this. So we have in this multi-threading we have a multi-thread life cycle. So thread is just a execution of process which we will divide in this multiple ways simultaneously. In that cases we are creating a thread. So how we will create a thread, how we will run this schedulers, and what will be run methods and all inside this we will discuss. But before that we have a thread life cycle. So this is the thread life cycle where we have a thread state set there. So there are 5 ways where we have thread life cycle will work. One is, once you are initializing the thread, it will be in this new condition. So that will be new thread will be created. So the new is nothing but new thread will be created to do any operations. And then we have active thread. Once we have created a new thread, that will be active. So that once the thread will be active, either they can invoke some method, either start method and run methods and all. So this active conditions will be there, and once they will do some operations while using a start method, so we have a blocked and waiting condition. So suppose if any issues will come, in that cases either it will go for the block or waiting conditions. Then we have a timed waiting and then terminate. So this will be some timed waiting, means either waiting for some other thread need to be complete or something is happening. In that cases timed waiting, and then once the thread has been completed the operation, in that cases it will go for the terminate. So here we have a definitions of thread state, what is new, what is active, what is block and waiting, and what is a time waiting and terminated. So this is the thread life cycle. Here first is new. Once the thread has started, it will go for this active state. So either we have a runnable runnings and all. Then if anything will have any errors and all will happen, or any lockings will be there, or any waiting conditions will be there, in that cases it will go for the block waiting or timed waiting. These all are the operations will be performed. So first state is new, then second will be active state, third will be any blocked and anything will happen. In that cases it will go for blocked, waiting and time waiting. And once the operations has completed, either it will be go for the exit. So this terminate or dead. So thread will be terminate or dead. So this is the life cycle of thread. So when to use this life cycle? Suppose thread conditions mostly we are using in banking project. So while we have a multiple most of the project we are using, but the thread concept mostly will work on banking or any communications which we have to work on asynchronous communications and all. So we have a book my show application. So in this book my show applications or any applications, while we are booking the tickets, in this tickets in a particular time multiple users are trying to book this ticket. For that cases some of the thread will have go for the waiting conditions, because some of other person doing some payment for the particular seat. In that cases other if other person is trying to access this particular seat, in that cases thread will go for the waiting condition. Once this will be released, or if not yet booked, then it will be assigned for the same seat, or else it will go for the different seat number. Like that conditions or business functionality we are using thread. So how we will create a thread? Either we have a two ways to create a thread. Either we can use a thread. Just a minute. We have a two state is there. One is a run a start method, another is run method. So runnable is an interface, and so from runnable interface we have run, and thread we have a start methods are there. So here we can do by using two ways to create a thread. One is extending the thread class. So thread class is the class which we can access or extend from this our custom class. So all the functionality we can use in this thread. Or either you can implement runnable interface. There are two ways we can use. Either we have to extend the thread class or implement the runnable interface. So these two is there. So see, we have a multiples methods are there. Either thread methods are there. Thread we will pass some name. We have a runnables and then runnables and some names, through that we can call. So commonly used methods are there, like a run method, a start method. So run method performs some operations, a start method to start this execution of the thread. Sleep method will wait for some time. We have seen this thread life cycle, right? So some of the waiting conditions is happening. In that cases we will use sleep method. Join method will wait for this thread to die and others will be joined. Once thread will be completed, then other thread will be joined in that case. So we will set the priorities, names and all like this. These all are the methods which is used for this thread life cycle. To use suspend, if you want to suspend the thread. If you want to resume the thread, then we can use a resume method. If you want to stop the thread, then we can use a stop method. If you want to interrupt, in that cases we will go for the interrupt method. Is alive, if you want to check either thread is still alive or not, then we have a is alive method is there, like that. Many methods are there. So these all are the common method which we are using while we are working on the thread concept. So we'll go for the example here, like two ways we are creating a thread. So suppose this is the class. So this is multi-class. So multi means anything, class name, custom class name we created, either ABC or anything. If you want to use the thread concept, so there are two ways. Either you have to extend the thread class, then all the thread functionality you can access, or you have to implement this runnable interface. So runnable is an interface, so you have to implement by using implement keywords, and if you are extending, then you have to use thread class. So here what we have created a class and then we are extending a thread. Once you extend it, then here we have a one method, that is run method. Because thread we have a multiple default methods here there, right? So one of the method is run method inside this thread. So we are using run method. So run method, what is the use of run method? It is used to perform action of the thread. Okay, so I understand this thread is used for the action of the object. So in this run method we have some SOP, thread is running like this. And then inside this multi class we have a main method. So this main method we have a object created, multi t1 equal to new multi. So this object has created for this class. Now based on the reference we are calling this method. Why? Because of this is non-static method. So directly we cannot access in static method. So this t1 is a object reference. So we need to create a object, and based on the reference we will start this method. So how you will create? Because this is run method, right? So in this thread we have a run method. So either we have to call this t1.start. Once you start the thread, this run method will be called automatically. So in this thread we have a functionality, either you have to start this or run. So run method is there, we have declared here. Inside we are doing some operation like thread will be running. So once this t1.start will happen, so a start is a method. So what is the functionality of a start method here? So see here, public void start. So start is the execution of the thread. JVM call run method on this thread. So once you will start a thread, then JVM will check either any run method is available inside this. Yeah, run method is available. So this will be executed. The output will be thread is running like this. So these all concept we will see in real time examples or project where we are using when to use run method and why we are creating a thread.start method. So once started will start, then run method will be invoked in this. We have to extend this thread class or implement this runnable. When we will go for the runnable, so this second examples we are doing runnable implement. So this is the class. Inside that we have a multi3 implements runnable interface. So somewhere we are using extend the thread class, somewhere we are using implement the runnable interface. So here also same functionality, we have run methods are there, and this main method, inside this main method we are creating object. Based on this object again we created one thread t1 equal to new thread, and here based on this reference we are calling here. So object m1 reference we are calling, m1 reference from this multi object we are calling inside this thread, and then we are doing t.start. So what will happen once we will start this thread? So this is the thread created, t1 equal to, from where it is coming, thread, because we don't have any class here and we created the object of thread. t1 equal to new thread means the new thread has created. From where it is coming? From runnable interface. Runnable or thread class, we have a thread is there, so that thread will be directly we can create this object while we are implementing runnable interface or extending thread class. Then we can create a object of thread. So here we created the thread class object t1, and in t1 we are using m1. So m1 is this class object reference. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are calling t1.start. So now we are starting this thread. t1 is a reference. Through that, once we will start the thread, what will happen? Then run method will be invoked. So this output will be this one. Like that also we can call. See, this is the example here. This is class, custom class, and we have main method, and inside this main method what we are doing, we are creating an object of thread class using constructor. So they are creating the object of thread class tt equal to new thread, and this my first thread is there, and then we are doing some t.start method. So this t1.start, and after that we have a string s equal to t.getName, and then we are printing this str. So get name will be this one only, because t1.start has happened and t1.getName means my first thread is there in this double quote. The same will be printed here. The output is my first thread, this one. So like that we can pass either in this thread by using thread class we can pass runnable, a string name. So all method we seen when to use runnable, when to use a string method, when to use only a string methods and all. And others is part is here we are mostly use a thread schedulers, and others is thread schedulers mostly used to schedule a job. So while we are going to schedule job like particular time or particular milliseconds this batch should be executed. So mostly we have a banking reports generating. So every month your account statement report will be generated, or your OTP will be sent on this or any SMS will be sent for the particular time once any changes will happen, or any login alert will be there, like that. So for that cases we have a schedulers which will be schedules particular informations and it will go for the particular customer. So for in this case we will use a thread scheduler. Either we have a time arrivals will be there, priorities will be there for this. So how we will schedule the thread and how it works. So these all are the time arrivals are there. Suppose we have a t1, t2, t3, t4 threads are there. So we have mentioned this arrivals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So through that we have a multiple algorithms which will be worked here, and this will be scheduled for this particular second. This thread will be executed, then others will be perform the work, like this. So this all we will see once we are going for this real-time project. In that cases we will see like where we are using thread scheduler and why we are creating a implemented runnable interface or thread class, and how we will run this run methods. So this is the small topic also which we have mostly use a basic of thread, but if you will go for some bankings and all, then in that cases they are using multiple concept in this thread. So this is in that cases we will have big topics will be there, like many things are there, many algorithms which have to learn about this thread. So multi-threading is a basic, while we have a if you want to perform multiple operations simultaneously, either synchronous and asynchronous, then you will go for the threading concept. We have a thread life cycle and how we will create a thread. Two ways we can create a thread. Then how we can run this run method and start, and what is schedulers and all. So these things are there. And the next topic we have a collection. This is main topic. So now we will start a collection here. Thread, just you can go through this, and this collections we have all this main topics, like whatever the concept we will write a business logic, everywhere we will use a collection. So this is very important topic. After this core Java, whatever the programmings and all we cover, that was important. So we given all this real-time programmings here based on the all concept. This all. Now we have a one more topic is there, that is a collection. So this is very important topic, and this is a framework. Like in Java is technology, a Spring is a framework is there. So in a Spring we have a Spring Boot specification, microservice based architectures and all. So like that we have a collection is a framework. So in this collection we have a many things are there. So three things are there: list, set and map. So when to use list, when to use set, when to use map. So list have also many things are there: array list, linked list and vectors, hashtag. And then set also have same thing: array has set, linked has set, and then priority set, queue sets and queues and all. Then we have a map is also use have tree set, has map, linked has map, like this. So the question is like when to use this all. from which scenarios and where to use. So these all we are using everywhere in our project, like has array list, linked list, vector, stack, hash set, linked hash set, hash map, linked hash map, tree map. So this daily basis we are using daily everywhere in this project while we are writing any business logic or not. In that cases we are using. So we will see what is collection and when to use collection. And so collection is a framework which will be provide this architectures to store and manipulate this group of object. So we seen object, like in this previous class we seen object, how we will create object. Every class, if you are calling some static data, non-static data inside this static or manywhere, then we are creating object, right? So in that cases collection is a framework which will be provide an architectures to store and manipulate the group of object. We have a multiples object we are creating. So how we will store and manipulate? Store means store the data somewhere, and manipulate means to shift or to do some operations. In that cases how we will do this group of object storage and manipulations. That in that cases we have a collection. So collection framework, we have a multiples methods are there, multiple classes are there. Through that we will do this operation. So in this collection we have a mainly we have a some classes are there, like array list, linked list, vectors, priority queues, hash set, links hash set, tree sets, and all are the classes. And four interface are there: hash set, list, queue, dequeue. So these all are the interface are there. So what is collection in Java? So collection represents single unit of object, that is called a group, is called collection. What is framework? Framework is provide a ready-made architectures. It represents set of class and interface. In that case it is a optional. So framework. Now this is the hierarchy of collection framework. Just you have to remind this hierarchy every time, then you will able to solve all the problems. So this is a collection framework. So in this collection framework is coming from util package. So you should have to manually mention this util package. If LAN package, if you are not providing the LAN package, compiler automatically will provide LAN package, java.lan. But here this is all, this collection framework is coming from util package. So always you have to import this util package, then only this functionality will work. So what is collection framework we seen, and this all are the hierarchy of collection framework. So collection framework is coming from iterable, and so this is a interface. And iterable we have a collection. So this collection is also an interface, and one is collections. Collection is a class, but in this case collection is an interface, iterable is an interface. After that, this is the parent class, this is the subclass of collection. So collection is coming from iterable interface, and then in this collection we have three things are there: list interface, queue interface, and set interface. This three is a very important topic: when to use list, when to use queue, and when to use set. And others is map is also there, we will discuss later. So list have multiple classes are there, like array list is there, linked list is there, vector is there, stack is there. Like the same we have a queue have priority queue class is there, dequeue interface is there, and arrays dequeue is a class. Set have hash set, linked hash set, sorted set, and tree set. So these all are the sorted set is a interface, and others is a class. So in this case, like we have a collection interface. So in this collection interface, everywhere whatever the class and interface we seen, so these all classes and interface, mostly we are working on this different methods. So inside this we have a multiple methods are there to operate this array list functionality. Multiple methods will be there to operate this linked list functionality. Multiple methods will be there to hash set functionalities and all. So in this collection framework we have some of the common methods are there in this collection interface. So this collection interface is this one, this collection interface. Second one, after iterable, one collection interface is there. So in that also we have some function methods are there. So first is public boolean add. So public boolean add is there, add method is there, add all method is there. So what is the meaning of add? It is used to insert the element. Add all means it is used to insert the all the element. Remove method means it is used to insert remove this element. It is used to remove all the element. But what is this? Return value should be boolean. Boolean means once you add this element, the output should be either true or false. Once you add all the element, the output should be true or false, like this. Once you remove, the output should be true or false, like this. So these all are the predefined methods is there in this collection framework. So if list want to use, queue want to use, or set want to use from this collection framework, so they should can use this all method. So this method. Now we have a iterator. So iterator interface. So iterator interface. So iterator interface provide this facility for iterating this element in forward direction only. Iterator. So this is iterator interface. So this iterator interface is coming from here. This iterator interface provide the facility to iterating the element forward direction. So yeah. So apart from this, we have a iterator iterable interface. Another is list interface. Yeah. So these all are the interface also there. Iterator or iterable. So iterator interface which will be work on this forward direction. The iterator interface provide the facility iterating the forward direction only. We will see in examples when we are using iterators, when we are using iterables. So iterators will have a three methods: hash set, hash next method, and remove method. So hash next method either will give a true or false return type, but next method will have a object, and remove method will have a void, means nothing will be there as a return type. An iterable interface have iterator. This is the collection interface, and then this is a list interface. So in this collection interface already we seen all the methods, whatever method here inside this, these all are the collection interface method. And in this is a iterators, so which is used to perform hash next, and remove method. And why we are using iterator? Iterator provide the facility to iterate the element if you want to process the element. So before we use for loop, while loop, do while loop, if else conditions like. So in this case, instead of this, we are using iterator only. So iterable interface and all we seen, and the collection interface. Now inside this collection interface, we have three interfaces are there, right? One is list interface, other is set interface, and then we have dequeues was there. So in this list interface, we have a 3 to 4 was there: array list, linked list, vector, and a stack, right? 4. So if you want to create a list of employee, the requirement in your project, if you want to create a list of employee, so how you will create list of employee? So we have to create either list, inside that mention the data type, and then new array list. So array list we already covered before. So this array list, this is the array list. So how we are creating the array list? Before array AR equal to new array list, like that. So here we are creating a list. So list, data type, reference name, then new array list. If you want to create a linked list, then how you will create? List, data type, some reference, then new linked list. If you want to create a vectors, then like this, and then by using new keyword we can create array list, linked list, vector, and a stack. So this is the list interface, like that we will create. Now the question is like when to use array list, when to use linked list, when to use vector, and when to use stack. So this is the coming from the list interface. Suppose your requirement is you want to fetch the list of employee record from your database. So where we have to go? List of employee record means all the employee
record you want to fetch, list of employee record. So you should have to go for the list interface. Now the question is, inside this list interface, which will you have to go? Either array list, linked list, vector, or stack. Your requirement is list of all the employee record you want to fetch from the database. But list have 4 types: array list, linked list, vector, and stack. So which one you have to go? So in that cases we have a array list. Array list is used to duplicate element. Suppose if your requirement is you want to fetch duplicate element, all the duplicate element, like in the database, suppose 1000 list are there, 1000 list of employees are there, and most of 20 or 30 or 40 are in duplicate. So you want to fetch all the duplicate element also, unique and duplicate element. In that cases we will go for the array list. Understand when to use array list? So see here the example, we have a class. This class name is some ABC is there, test Java collection 1 is there. So this is the class. Inside that we have a method. So if you want to use a collection framework functionality, then always you have to import this java.util. Whatever the things you want to use. Either if you want to use array list, then you have to mention java.util.arraylist. If you mention a star, means all the functionality will be you can use. A star means all the collection functionality you can use. If you will use particular java.util.arraylist, then only you can use array list only. If you will try to use a linked list, you will not able to use this linked list. So always you should have to mention proper name, which functionality you want to use, or mention a star, then all the functionality will be able to access. But some of the cases we are not using this package. Why? Because of some of a concept which is coming from LAN. So by default compiler automatically use LAN as an import internally. So that's why we have not used LAN and all, because we already cover array, strings and all, right? In that cases LAN by default package is LAN, so coming from there itself. But collection is coming from util, so we have imported this one. So this is the first thing you have to import. Then second thing is the class created main method is there. Here we have a array list. So array list, what type of data type is? A string type of data type is there. So array list we created new array list where we are passing as a string type. Means we created array list and the data type will be a string. So we need to add the data. So array list, either we have to add multiple data as a duplicate also, we need to, because see here we have to store the duplicate data. So in that cases we will go for the array list. So array list add Ravi, Vijay, again we added some duplicate data here. In that cases if you want to add some duplicate data, so that cases we will go for the array list. So list dot, how you will add? Based on the reference, list dot add this one, list dot add this one. Why double quote? Because of a string data type is required. Here we mention a string, so a string is required. So list dot add Ravi, list dot add Vijay, list dot add again duplicate. So if your requirement is duplicate also should be inserted, then we will go for the array list. And see, we seen iterator, right? Iterator is an interface which need to be traverse the data. So how we will traverse? Like we have added four things in this list. So suppose we have one list, inside that we put it 4 data, Ravi, Vijay, Ravi and Ajay. So 4 data we already inserted in this array list, added in this array list. Now we want to fetch the detail. So either you have to fetch by using if else condition, which we seen, for loop we have seen before, right? For loop, while loop, do while loop, like that. But in collection framework mostly we are traversing this data through this iterator. So iterator already we seen here. There are 2 iterator. Iterable interface is there where it is coming from iterator, this. So iterator have 3 methods, has next, next and all. So always you should have to remind this method name and return type. What is return type and what is the use of this method? So this method is used for it return true. Why? Because of boolean is there. And if the iterator has more element, otherwise it will be false. Has next, if you want to have more element is there and you want to process has next, has next, has next like that, then we will go for this has next element. And then next element have object return type, and it return the element, it return the element object type, and move the cursor pointer to the next element, like simple next is there, and remove means that will be remove, like this. So we will see like where to use iterator. So suppose we added list of data, so this list of data we added in array list. Now we want to traverse this element, like if you want to print this, like output, I need to, whatever the data I have printed, I want to show the output. So these all are the data we inserted in array list. So how you will do? By using iterator. So iterator, we created iterator is an interface. Iterator itr equal to what? We have to take a reference list dot iterator. So once you do this one, means itr is there, itr as a reference, which is the iterator interface. So itr dot has next, why? Because of has next we have multiple data is there, multiple list is there, multiple list record is there. So in that cases we have to process one by one. So has next, what will be the output here? What is has next? Has next have boolean type. So either we will check either has next is there, means next element is available, yes or no, true or false. If true, then it will go for this. If false, then it will be closed there. So see here. So iterator I created, iterator interface itr equal to this interface list. So this is the interface, right? Sorry, this is the reference. So list dot iterator. So by using that we are iterating this. Now we have a while loop. Inside that we are checking itr. This itr has next is there. Yes, there Ravi. So SOP of itr next. So has next is there, means itr next will be there. So has next means what is SOP of itr next? Ravi. Then it will go for the next term, next element. So itr, because next element have a some object reference, right? So this will be printed. This next element is there, some object return type, right? So this return type is there, so this element will be printed. It return element and move to the next point of cursor, right? So here we seen two things, has next and next. So itr dot has next, yes, true or false? True, means Ravi will be coming here, and itr next means Ravi will be printed and pointer will go for Bijay now. Has next, Bijay is there, true, then Bijay will be printed here in next, and then itr dot next Bijay, and then it will point to this next cursor Ravi. Has next, Ravi will come here, and then Ravi will be going for this itr dot next, Ravi will be printed, and then pointer will go for the Ajay will be has next, then this will be printed, and after that has next will have false condition. Why? Because of no data. Just a minute. The output will happen like Ravi, Vijay, and Ravi and Ajay. So here the requirement is I need a duplicate data need to be added in our database. Then in that cases array list is used for this duplicate data. Now question is when to use list. So list is the implementation of collection interface, right? It is W linked list internally to store the element, and it can store duplicate element. This also can be store the duplicate element, but it mainly insertion order, and it is not synchronized. In linked list manipulation is fast because of no shifting is required. Suppose if you want to manipulate the data, in that cases linked list is required, not array list. Both having same duplicate data is allowed, but if you want to insertion order need to be preserved, and the manipulation should be fast. That cases we will go for the linked list. So see here the same example, we have a utils added because of we need a linked list. So utils dot star, then we have a linked list created, linked list a string type of new linked list. We added this element. So this is not a array list, this is linked list element. So we have a Ravi, Vijay, Ravi and Akshay. Now again we are doing some iterators, so through that we are doing, and while itr.hagsnext and next is there, but the same output will come. But the here, like if you have huge amount of data is there, like thousand or lakhs of records are there, and in that cases if you want to manipulate the data, and that should be in fastest manner, no shifting is required and is very fast, and insertion order should be preserved, that cases only we will go for this linked list. So many of the real time while we are going for the project, we have a huge amount of data will be there for this employee record or real time processing, or maybe messaging details we are fetching, and many things in real time. So that cases instead of linked list we will go for the instead of array list we will go for the linked list, which will have a manipulations should be faster and insertion order will be preserved. That cases we will go for the linked list. Now question where we have to go for the vectors and stack. So vectors is also same thing, like dynamic array to be stored in this data, and it is similar to the array list. All are similar to the array list, linked list, vectors and stack, but it is synchronized and it contain many methods that are not part of collection framework. So this is synchronized, and in this vectors is a legacy of this collection framework, means old of the framework is which is used the collection type, this one vector type. So and this is a type of synchronized means at a time single thread will work. In thread level we see in synchronized, asynchronous. Synchronous means multiple threads simultaneously can be perform the operation, but in vectors single thread at a time single thread will perform the operations. Once he complete, then others will go for that. So the fasting so this manipulation times and insertion time, it take time compared to array list and linked list in this. So this is the legacy, old version was introduced this vector. So here also same functionality is there, vectors, creating a vector object, and based on the reference we added the data, we are iterating and has next and we are printing. The output is same here also, duplicate also allowed. Now question is stack. So stack is also subclass of vectors, it implement last in first out in data structure. So here also we can add this same functionality. We created the stack object and then we are doing this different way here, because in a stack we have two things is there, push and pick is there, push and pick, push and pick, and pop is there. So push need to be insert the data and pop need to be delete the data. So if your requirement where we have like to do this functionality where we need to insert the data and delete the data like that, and last in first out order data structure should be valid, like we have whatever the last in that first out will be. Suppose if we are doing, so a stack will happen from this last in and first out. So in that cases we will go for this stack. So see here a stack we created, and then push means this data has updated. Ayush, Garvit, Amit and Ashish, this data, and Garima, this all as inserted. And now we are doing pop. So pop means last in first out. Suppose if your requirement is last in first out will be deleted, so in that cases what will have deleted? Ayush, Garvit, Amit, Ashish and Garima is there, but your requirement in your project whatever last data is there, that I have to delete, and duplicate will be allowed, and that cases where to go? Not in array list, not in linked list, not in vector, we have to go for the stack. Why? because a stack will have a functionality where we have to insert the data, delete the data, and deletion of data should be always from last to first, last in first out. Whatever the last data will be there, that will delete first. So if you have similar functionality requirement, your client told, like if whatever the customer came and last last time, so that we need to delete this first, then only one by one we have to delete. So this functionality if you want to do, then you will go for the stack. So all our array list, linked list, vectors and stack is coming from collection framework, and before that we have a list interface is there. Inside this, these four are there, but array list is used for like if your duplicate is allowed, and then we have to just you don't know the functionality, just duplicate is allowed and all, then we will go for the array list. And then a linked list, if you have some manipulations and insertion, order should be preserved and manipulation should be faster, like processing should be faster, is immediate. If you have a huge amount of data is there and you want to fetch the details with this timeline, then it will go for this array linked list. And then vectors is a legacy of that. So vectors was a old framework, old Java and versions has introduced. So it's a dynamic data and synchronized form. So in that cases we will go for vectors. Mostly we are not using vector. A stack is used for this last in first out. If you want to do some push and pop operation, then that cases we will go for the stack. So these all are the coming from this list interface. So after that what we seen here, we have a list also, right? So this is the, so just we seen iterable, right? Iterable is an interface where we have iterator is there, right? Iterator method. So iterator will iterate the data by using hash, next are there, right? Which we seen there. Collection is a interface. Inside this collection, so this interface you have three things: list, queue and set. So list we seen multiple class is there, four class: array list, linked list, vector and stack. When to use array list, when to use linked list, when to use vector and when to use a stack, we seen this. So once you will see this examples, like where we have a real-time project, you will understand like why we are using array list, why we are using linked list, why we are using vectors and a stack. Now we have a queue have priority queue and these all we will discuss later. Now we are going to discuss set. So in this set interface we have four things are there: hash set, linked hash set, tree set and sorted set, right? So when to use hash set and what is hash set? So hash set is a functionality like coming from the set interface. So set is having, if you want to insert the data and duplicate should not be allowed, in that cases we will go for the set. Set is an interface and there duplicate won't be allowed. List have allowed the duplicate. See here, the set duplicate won't be allowed. In that cases we will go for the set which does not allow the duplicate. So then that cases, suppose your requirement only unique data should be printed, that cases we will go for the set interface. So in set interface, the question is we have a multiple set interface, hash sets are there, linked hash sets are there, tree sets are there, like so when to use, and DQ is there. So when to use these all? So the question is hash set will use, hash set is the interface, hash set is a class, all the hash set, linked hash set, tree set and all is the class. So hash set class implement from the set interface and it represent the collection that use the hash table for the storage. Hashing is used to store this element for the hash set. It contain unique items. So if requirement is this one, like if you represent this collections and users as a hash table storage, like hashing technique if you want to allow for this, and duplicate will be there, duplicate won't allowed, unique data and data should be added in a hashing technique. In that cases we will go for the hash table. So see here this example, like this is the definitions which we seen, and hashing is used to store element in this hash set and it contain unique item. So in that cases we will go for the hash set. And this is the example, we have a import util star, then we have a class, we have a main method. Inside this main method we have a hash set. So this hash set what we passed here, data type as a string, means only we can add a string only, either anything inside this string, double quote. So we created the object of hash set, and in hash set we added this multiple data type because of all our string, so we added. Now what we are doing, we are traversing this element. So how we are traversing? Using iterator. So iterator, here we pass a string itr equal to set, because set is the here reference. Set dot iterator means this data will be iterate and it will come from this itr. Now we are checking while condition, while itr dot has next, yes, then it will go for this itr next. Itr next means this will be print this data and then it will go for the next one, like this. The output will happen same thing here, but here what will happen, the difference is in array list we seen duplicate also allowed, but here duplicate is not allowed. Like Ravi was there, so this data has removed. If already duplicate is there, this will be removed based on this set interface. Only available unique data, not duplicate. Now question, then we now know hash set, then why we are going for this linked hash set? So linked hash set class, linked hash set is a class represent linked list implementations, which we seen the linked list implementation, and set interface, it extend this hash set class and implement the set interface. Link, like set interface, it contain unique element and it maintain this insertion order and permit null element. So in this linked hash set we seen linked hash linked list we seen, right? So linked list where we seen like insertion order should be preserved, manipulation should be faster and all that cases we will go for the linked list. But here we have linked hash set there, so this also have same functionalities, like that will be insertions will be preserved and then manipulation should be faster, and it contains unique element because null is because unique data duplicate is not allowed, and it maintain insertion order and permit this null element. So null also will be permit in that case. Suppose your requirement some null is also allowed, in that case then we can go for this linked hash set. So this is the definitions for this linked hash set. So if you'll go for this program, we have a hash set is there, so we created hash set. Now we have this one, and then we are doing this iterator hash next and then itr dot next, like that. So here also duplicate will be allowed, duplicate data will be deleted automatically, and this manipulations and insertions will be happen. So the same functionality we have array list also and set also, only the difference is set will not allow duplicate and linked list is allowed duplicate. Sorted interface is there, tree sets are there. Sorted set interface will allow unique data only, not duplicate, and the data should be sorted, like sorted order. Like suppose if you inserted 1 2 3 6 7 and all, so that will be inserted 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that. So this is sorted interface. And tree set, so now when to use tree set? So tree set also looks same, like where we have to insert the data, and data should be always ascending order. Like suppose your data, see the tree set sorted should be ascending order. If your requirement the data should be is always in ascending order, then we can go for the tree set. So tree set, how we will see, this is the tree set we created, and we are getting this, we are traversing this data, and then by using hash set we are going for this next, and see here the data should be ascending order. We have mentioned this Ajay is the last one, but ascending order means by using special characters, by using characters A is coming from this first, so this Ajay is coming, then we have a Ravi and then Vijay, like that. So if your requirement should be data as a ascending orders and all, then that cases we will go for the tree set, right? So we covered here array list, linked list, list interface, right? Hash set, linked hash set, tree set. So till 6 we covered here. Remaining we will cover tomorrow, like priority queue, map, interface, hash map, linked hash map, tree map. So this also having same thing, but there also, like, see, have hash map is there, linked hash map is there, tree map. So same functionality, but in map key and value is required. Here only we are putting value, array list and set, right? But in map we will allow key and value, both will be allowed here. So we will see this others remainings tomorrow, and after that we will go for this Java. uh, we will go for this database some operations, then Java 8, and then we will go for the UI part, tools and UI part. Fine.
Yeah.
Just you can go through this. This is just a simple thing, collection framework. In this, here you can go for this Java array list, linked list, difference of array list and linked list, and then what is list interface has set, and what is linked has set, tree set. Till now whatever we covered, just go through that. Tomorrow we will complete this, and then we will go for this uh, database part.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you all.
Yeah. Bye.